Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to 20 alarming facts about California, and I seem to just do a lot of videos relating to California and its struggles and all that kind of stuff, but I know it's a state that has a lot of things going on, and obviously a lot of people live there, so there's a lot of, I guess, opinions on it and stuff, but we're going to see what this video says. I've probably seen some of them to do like homelessness and just the costs of living and all this kind of stuff, but 20 facts is going to be a lot of things that I probably haven't heard about, but we're just going to jump into this and see some of the things going on there. But yeah, let's just jump into this.
In this video, we're going to look at 20 alarming stats and facts about California. Right now, there are all kinds of videos, blog posts, articles that will explain how bad a shape California is in right now. They usually come with a story or are presented in some form of documentary. I decided to make a to-the-point video with information that would paint the picture of a present-day dumpster fire, my old state, California. Before I get going, the Golden State has some great things and some horrible things, just like every state. Today's video is just focused on the negatives about California. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 20, California has the highest poverty rate among children in the country. In 2021, 18.8% of children in California lived below the poverty line,
18.8%.
compared to 16.1% of children nationwide.
Oh, so it is higher, but the general level is higher, I guess. The UK is probably around the same anyway.
19. California has the highest housing cost burden in the country. In 2021, the median household income in California was $79,533, but the median home price was $795,000. When you factor some of the other housing costs California has, this means that the median household in California needs to spend more than 30% of their income on housing, which is considered to be a high housing cost burden. 18. California has the highest unemployment rate in the country. In 2021, the unemployment rate in California was 7.5%.
7.5%? God damn, that's high.
Compared to 6.3% of Americans nationwide. Now that one was in 2021. I'll update this one. Currently, the unemployment rate as of March 2023 is 3.5 nationwide. 3.5%. In California, it's 4.4%, which still puts them in the top 10. 17. California has the highest energy efficiency standards in the country. The state's energy efficiency standards require new homes to be built to so much of a higher standard than homes in other states. This makes it more expensive to build a new home in California. Land prices are already high in this state. Number 16, the highest environmental regulations in the country. The state's environmental regulations make it more expensive to do business in California. Number 15, the Golden State also has the highest regulatory compliance costs in the country. The state's regulatory compliance cost is another thing that makes it incredibly expensive to do business in California. My entire family has owned businesses in California, and they've been complaining about that since as far back as I can remember. Number 14, California has the highest weed tax in the country. The state's current tax on the weed is 15%.
How do you tax weed? Wait, is weed sold in shops here? Because it's legal, right? So is weed just sold in like stores, or will it be like special shops for it? And you have to pay a specific tax for that as well. God damn.
Which is more than double the national average right now. Number 13, California has the highest plastic bag tax in the country. Yes, there's a plastic bag tax. The state's plastic bag tax is currently 10 cents per bag, which is more than double the national average of 4 cents per bag. Now that's in 2021. I don't know if they went ham and cheese with more plastic bag taxes, but that was 2021. Number 12, California has been voted the worst state to do business for 32 years straight. I mean, that's obvious when you take into consideration the highest environmental regulations, the highest regulatory compliance costs, taxes, plastic bags, and currently they're looking for ways to raise taxes on businesses. Still, number 11, California
That's probably why loads of the businesses are moving out, isn't it?
is losing population for the first time in its history. That's right. California has been a state since 1850, 172 years. They've never had one census, so a whole decade, where they lost population. A lot of states will, let's say, lose population 2 or 3 years, and then the rest of the decade they will gain population. So at the census, they come up in the positive. That happens all the time. California has never had one single year where they lost population till 2021 and 2022. And the 2020 census was the first time they had single-digit growth. Most decades, they are above 20% and below 60%. Number 10, California has the highest car registration fees in the country. Now, this is the average from
Just the fees for everything, let alone the homes. Everything else is just expensive as well. What the fuck?
2021, and I'm sure if you watch this in 2023 or 2024, the prices will change, and they're probably going to go up. The average car registration fee in California is $454, which is more than double the national average of $200. I had been to the DMV in California is just a nightmare, not just in cost, how long you got to wait, just the nightmare that it is. Dennis Miller described the California DMV perfectly one time. He said it's like everyone that works in that building is going through a really bad divorce. I'd go a little further than that. To me, it seems like everyone at the California DMV always seemed like they were going through a nasty divorce while getting audited by the IRS, and they're at work with a rash. Number 9, California has the second highest annual CO2 emissions in the country.
Damn, so it seems all this, it's like doing all these things for like plastic bag and waste and stuff, but then it's also got the highest levels of this. It's probably because, wait, is it the most per person or the most on average? Because if it's on average, it's probably because it's the biggest state. But if it's per person, then obviously that's a lot worse.
They put 360 metric tons of carbon dioxide into the air every single year. The only one that beats them is Texas with 705 metric tons. Number 8, California is ranked 50th in the nation for opportunity. Now, this is by U.S. News, and it's a stat they give. To put it simply, opportunity is a bunch of different stats they bring together that rank your chances of moving out of the class you were born in. Like if you grew up in a middle-class home, you'll probably stay there as an adult in California. Did you grow up in a poor neighborhood? Chances are you're going to stay in that neighborhood in California. Now that's an average and all that, and I'm sure some of you have made it out of wherever you grew up and all that, and we all know that. That does happen. This is just the chances of you staying there in California are the highest. Number 7, California has
crazy, right? Because people used to move to California for the opportunities, and now it seems like it's flipped.
The highest sales tax rate.
Again, all the taxes are just the highest. What the fuck?
In the country. The sales tax rate is currently 7.25%, which is right around double the national average. Great going, California. Number 6, California has one of the highest income tax rates in the country. The top marginal income tax rate in California is 13.3%, which is more than double the national average of 6.2%. So in California, they just don't want to screw you a little bit more than the other states. They want to really you. Number 5, California has the second highest water rate in the country. The average residential water rate in California is $77 a month. That's more than double the national average of
$77 per month to get water in your house. For me, it's like 26, 28 pounds, which would probably be like $38, something like that. God damn it.
$7 a month. And they want to raise your rate while having you cut back. They'd like you to cut your water usage in half in California, but they still want to charge you the $77 a month. Just so you know, the state with the highest water rate in the country is West Virginia for some reason. Isn't their water filled with coal residue? Number 4, California has the 4th highest electricity rate in the country. The average residential electricity rate in California is 17.2 cents per kilowatt hour, which is more than double the national average of 8.5 cents per kilowatt hour. You know, every state has charges. It costs to live. You know, that's how the world works. But when you're consistently at the top of the heap for the highest fees and highest rates, it sucks. And that's one of the biggest reasons so many people leave California. That's why I left. Number 3, California has the second highest gas.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's expensive. What the fuck?
Gas tax in the country. Whatever the gas price is, you're paying an extra 51 cents per gallon of gas in California. Most states keep it between 15 and 30 cents per gallon. The absolute worst is Pennsylvania, 58 cents. Number 2, California has the highest rate of homelessness in the country. It's next to impossible to get an accurate number of how many people are living on the streets. Every January, the federal government conducts a point-in-time count on the nation's homeless population. Now, other organizations do this too, and they all come up with their best guesstimate of how many people are living on the streets, living the van life, whatever the case may be. It's safe to say it's somewhere around 150,000. Some organizations say it's much less at 115,000, and then the US government said it could be as high as 233,000, and that's in 2022. Now, California is a big state with really good weather, so it makes sense if you're going to be homeless, why not do it in a place with really good weather? weather. But when I say they're leading the pack in homeless, they are really leading the pack. California, like I said, has around 150,000. Next in line is New York. They have 92,000. Then there's a massive drop down to Texas with about 27,000 and Florida with about 30,000. And I know it's talked about a lot on different things, even in the comment section of my videos, but Oregon doesn't have that many. It's a smaller state than most states, but it only has 15,000, and a majority of them are in Portland. Now, this should have been probably the number one on this list, but I thought I'd save number one for something that's kind of happening right now or is about to happen. But before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to this, some videos, subscribe. California is proposing charging different rates for... And number one, California is proposing charging different rates for utilities depending on your income. That's right, they're going to have a tier system. Doesn't matter really how much you use. When it comes to electricity, you're going to get charged more if you make more money. Now, some of the things that are being said about this might be true, might not be true, but one of the things they're trying to push forward is even if you don't use electricity, you still get that charge. Like, it's almost a new tax that you have in California. So if you go through all that effort to get your solar panels and everything else on your house and you're off the electrical grid, you're going to have to pay that bill. I hope that one's not true, because that would be the worst thing possible. They go through all this effort to make everyone get solar panels and whatever else you could do to save electricity, and now the electric companies still want to make a profit, so they got to find a way to charge people that aren't getting electricity.
What the fuck, man? I mean, look, people who have more money are more likely to use probably more of everything in general. But to tax them more just because they earn more, and in the grand scheme of things, some of them won't be using as much. That is wild. I hate these energy companies, man. They're just they stink. I swear they're making their biggest, like around the world, they're making their biggest profits, all of this stuff, while the rest of the world is struggling. But they're making more money than ever off of what's been happening the last few years. It's a joke. I fucking hate it. It pisses me off so much, but god damn it, it's the world that we're in, man. It's not looking good, man. I'm not going to lie. It's not looking good at all. California has got it rough right now. Yeah, this is an interesting look into how it is. But I have done a lot of reactions to this stuff anyway, so I sort of have seen it pop up. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. But maybe it'll change over time. Who knows? And if you are from California, let me know your thoughts on this. Is it as bad as it seems, or is it worse? Is it better? Like, yeah, just let me know. Obviously, it'll probably depend on your circumstances. But yeah, this is this reaction, and until next time, subscribe. Peace.